does the insurance company, right? The best scenario is that you pay insurance. You pay insurance your whole life, but you never use it. That's ideally what would want to happen. Because let me tell you this, it sounds like a great deal, like, oh, your insurance going to cover that damage in your basement, right? It's like, oh, they're going to pay for it. You know how much pain you're going to go through? You're going to have a construction crew. It damages your basement, your stuff. Not everything is going to be replaced. Yeah. And you're going to have a construction crew after construction crew in your home, in and out. They're going to make a mess. They're going to tear stuff up. It's going to be loud. It's not going to be comfortable for weeks, right? But it's not like you want to try to minimize damage, right, as much as you can. Like now with the rain that we got last night, I overdo it. I do. It's overkill. I know. But let's say this is my house. You know how the eavesdrops come down, like they catch it here, and then it goes against your house down, and then there's a downspout like that, right? I'm sure you're all familiar with that. I actually go by, I have a whole bunch of them, 8 foot 4 inch tubes, and I slide them over this, and it actually goes like 8 feet away from the house. It doesn't just go right next to my home. It's like way down. Especially now that you need to know this. Do you know what the water table is? What is the water table? Oh, so you learned that in science, biology? Yeah. So there's something like you don't know this, but underground, way underground, like your basement goes down here. There's a level, like there's water at some point, like way under, like 8, 10 feet. There's water there. And when they build your house, they know where the water table is. But guess what? Times are changing. The water table may rise. Especially now. That water table can come so close to the bottom of your basement, maybe even surpass it, and then you're in trouble. Your sump pump fails under these circumstances, you're going to be in serious trouble. So I'd like to divert the water as far away from my property as possible, because if it does go down into the ground, it's going to take a bit longer to come back into my, right? Like eventually it does go under and meet the water table, but it's going to be a little bit, it's going to take longer. What's that? You collect yours for watering? Right on. But at some point, like right now this year, I bet you it's full already. Like it fills up in no time. So after it fills up, you need to have a way to get it out, get it away. Right? Sump pump. You all know the sump pump hose, right? That it's like a black corrugated long hose. Make sure it doesn't just dump right next to your home, because that water is going to go straight down back to the bottom of the basement, and then your pump is going to do this, and on top of that the rain is accumulating, and then you have lots of water, and that's how you have water in your home. So make sure it goes like as far away from your home as possible. So I know you're like, yeah, I know this, I got this, but all it takes is one day where you don't pay attention. And all it takes is like you're busy, you slept in, you need to go to work, you forgot to make sure this is happening, boom, you have water in your basement, right? So you got to watch out for that. Anyways, let's go back to page 14. Have your pink table out. Pink table. There are two different types of insurance tables. There's the renters, the tenant, and the home insurance. So we're going to use these formulas here. Pay close attention. The only difference between this one and this one is that there may be, most of our houses these days will surpass, yeah, go ahead. Most of the houses these days, do you think most houses are worth more than $200,000? You bet. So we're going to go over it by quite a bit. In reality, we would surpass this maximum of 200,000. So most of the houses these days, I would be using this formula for. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a couple more, and then I'll let you work. You need to try these on your own because I will AC you like almost every other day, if not daily, on this stuff. Okay, Jill owns a house. Highlighter. Okay. Pay close attention, follow along, okay? Owns a house in Pine Falls, 8 miles from a fire hydrant. That doesn't really matter. Just look for where. Area 3. We're talking Area 3. She wants 225,000 of standard insurance with a $500 deductible. What is Jill's annual payment before tax? So we got to go insurance. Are we going over max? Yes. Going over max. Let's put this down. Going over max of 200K. Right? We're going past that. So that's what we call overage. Overage is you take the price, the amount of insurance you need, and you subtract the 200,000 from it. And what are you left with? I'm going to do that underneath because I need the space here. This is easy to do, right? We're over by 25,000. Wavy, like a wave under it because we're going to need that in a bit. So we're going to start our insurance here. Insurance is, you got to use the square bracket. What do we need to go get first? Pay close attention to this, okay? I'm going to just go up to my formula. We need to go get that table rate first. So let's go get it. It's homeowners insurance. We are in area 3. What, standard or comprehensive? I forgot already. Standard. Okay, so I go standard, and then you max out, right? You max out, so you go all the way to the bottom here. Circle that and circle this because you're gonna have to buy more insurance. 726 and 355. Got that? You need to, if you max out, you need to grab both. So we're gonna go, watch this, 726 plus, what does my formula call for first? How much you're over by, right? Which is 25 grand. And we're gonna multiply that by a number divided by 1,000. And what was that number that I told you to think of? 355, right? So you pay the 726 and then you pay extra for the 25,000, which is, let me just show you one more time. You pay 355, watch what it says here, for additional $1,000 coverage. 355. Okay? And then watch this, square bracket again. So we need to do this kind of separately. Do we need to do that times 1.10? Only if we need a $200 deductible. In this case, we want a $500 deductible, so we don't need to multiply by 1.10. Do we want taxes? It says before tax. So we don't need to add taxes. Watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go times 1.10 times 1.07, but I'm going to show you that we don't need to worry about that, and we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about $200 deductible, and we don't need to worry about taxes. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe a bit later. So let's figure out this 726 plus. That's where you need your calculator. 25,000 times 355 equals. And then I divide that by 1,000. So you're gonna have to pay an extra $88.75. I will still put the square brackets around it, right? And then I'm just gonna add these two up. That's $814.75. and that's before tax. And that is a $500 deductible policy, standard, right? And you're now paying for $225,000 worth of coverage. If you have a choice between standard and comprehensive, always go comprehensive. It's not that much more. It's not that much more. It's maybe $100 more a year. Go with comprehensive. It just covers more. It's like a blanket insurance. Okay? Some of you want a blanket right now because you're falling asleep, right? Blanket sounds so good. What is the annual cost to insure an apartment? There's that word again. Apartment means you're renting. Okay? For $65,000, you want comprehensive. You want a $200 deductible. How about we scratch the before tax? Okay, get rid of that. We're just going to go after tax. Just after tax. I'm curious to see right now, without my help, could you figure this out? This is like baby step. This is the easiest one you can possibly get. Go try it. Just take a minute or two. Put a number down. If it's wrong, erase it. So I'll just wait. Okay. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention. All right. You got it? It's renting, so I need to use this, right? And it's apartment for $65,000, comprehensive, $200 deductible. Hold your horses. Let's just focus on these two here. $65,000. I want comprehensive. That's $400. I'm not maxing out. Notice that, right? $400. So insurance will be table rate, which is $400. Times, do I need to multiply by 1.10? You bet, because it's a $200 deductible. Do I need to multiply by 1.07? You bet, because it's after tax, right? So put down 200 here, and this is tax. Okay, so your answer will be found by going this times this times this. If it said before tax, you stop right there, right? So 400 times 1.10, I do one at a time, and then times 1.07. So that's $470.80 per year. Not bad. I hope you got that one. Next. What is the annual cost to insure an apartment? There's that word again, apartment. For $90,000, standard, $200 deductible, before tax. Okay, let's just put it this way. If it says before tax, do not multiply by 1.07, right? Forget about it right off the bat. But it's apartment, it's 90,000, so we're over max. Over max, like make a note of that. What's the max in this? It's 75K, right? You are past the maximum, so you need to use that second beefed up formula. So we're going to go overage is you need 90,000 and you paid the maximum is 75,000. Where did I get that 75 from? Right here, folks. 75 is the max. Oh, I'm going to do that underneath, sorry. And that's 15,000 that you're over. Waive, right? Make sure you have that identified. And now you start. Insurance is, what's the table rate for this insurance here? I'm going to have the table in front again. Standard, all the way to the bottom, $359. And watch this, mark the 450 as well. $359 is what I pay up to 75,000, and then I need to pay extra. Okay, so $359 plus my overage times, and that is 450, right? You pay 450 extra for the 15,000. Okay, I need to square bracket this, and show that I'm going to multiply it by 1.10 because this makes it a $200 deductible by adding 10% to it. So you do it one step at a time, guys. 359 plus, let's figure out what this is. 15,000 times 450 divided by 1,000, 6750 times 1.10. So I'm going to add this up. That's 426.50 times 1.10. And you get 469.15. This is before tax. How about this? I'm going to highlight. I'm going to go green today. Right, the 15,000 that comes from here. I subtract it. And for apartment, it's always going to be minus 75. That's my max. For a house, the max is 200,000. Right? I will do this here. This is the max. And if I go up to this example here, this is the max. Okay, before we go, I need you to do house question on your own, by yourselves. You can talk to your neighbor quietly if you want to double check, right? That's fine. Low risk. I want you to go, hold on. I have my key here, so I know which one is which. So I will ask you to do question 4 and question 5. 4 and 5 right now. Before we go for our weekend, you try 4 and 5. After this, you'll be good. Okay, so we are over. So overage, 215 minus 200. We're over by 15 grand. It's not always going to be 15, by the way. Insurance. I'm going to go get that table rate. It's a home in area 3, comprehensive. So home in area 3, comprehensive, and I max out for sure. So it's $799, and I need to make note of the $391. 15,000, 391 over 1,000. Square bracket. I don't need to multiply by 1.10, but I do need to multiply it by 1.07 to get the taxes. It's a $500 deductible, so no need to multiply by 1.10. Because of time, I'm just going to give you the Cole's notes here. This all ends up being 857.65 times 1.07 to add the taxes. That is 917.69. Listen, all of these are still on yesterday's key, so if you want to practice, do all of these, and I will give you more on Monday, okay? Have a good weekend.